welcome to My Voices Have Tourette's, and that's why I am fabulously Tourette. My name is Dan Zarin. Let's get started here. So today's episode is brought to you by Gamesla Studio, where we are recording, The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smári's Volcano Sauce, the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my entire life. But I am joined today by an absolutely incredible guest. This guy, listen, people, I have been following him for a long time on various groups on social media. He's got a YouTube channel that's absolutely fabulous. I mean, that's really could not have picked a better word to describe this person. And I'm just going to welcome him on because I'm so excited. Let's welcome Peter Zhao.
Hey, thank you so much, Dan. Thank you very much. I gotta say, man, I wish my YouTube is as fabulously as my Instagram, you know. But
yeah.
I've been jumping around so much with the same name, you know. Lately, I'll be on Twitter also. So.
Well, it's so tough to keep up. I mean, yeah. I feel like for those of us that are trying to raise awareness and we're trying to get to everyone. I full on tried TikTok for a while and then I just stopped because I was just like, man, I'm so focused on Instagram. I can't even focus on the other ones.
I had a really good time initially with TikTok, but then last year and actually almost 2 years ago when I first joined, I had a really good time and I had a lot more response than any other platforms. I was getting like every video starts with 7,000, 10,000. I'm like, wow, I can finally go viral. And indeed. In fact, a lot of people saw my video to the point that I got someone called my job and complained.
Really?
Apparently, I did a video out of my work, and apparently someone saw my video, and even though there was nothing going on, they say, oh yeah, your microphone might pick up some sensitive personal information in the background, right? So I had a long talk. My HR, I got a slap on the wrist, but everything's okay now, you know. But as a matter of fact, you know, when I was having this talk with my leadership, I was told that some of them, their kids actually watch my video, right? But they said, you know, as inspiring as it is, but you can't break the rule. so I basically canceled the TikTok account, trying to show my management that, look, you know. But it turns out I did the extra step. I don't have to go that way, but I was afraid, right? So when I went back on TikTok on the second time, it wasn't the same anymore. No. I lost my touch, you know. So.
Well, and TikTok,
but I'm still on there. Yeah.
Well, and TikTok is weird because TikTok, it's like especially like when you are a Tourettic person and you go on TikTok, like I find that you either get treated so beautifully, like you get the most wonderful comments, the most wonderful support, or you just get trashed. Like you just get shit on. Like people are just like the whole, there's like it's like a trend. People are like, show me your papers. And I'm like, what is this? What is going on right now? What papers? I have my Tourette card. Can I show you that?
It's hilarious.
Like did you ever get any comments like that?
Luckily I didn't actually. I for TikTok, I think one of the reasons why my TikTok isn't so well now is because it's mixed. It's got me trying to look sexy. It's got my push-up. It's got Tourette's. And it's also got a lot of politics. You know, so my politics stuff. Once in a while, I get someone coming to troll me, but mostly I get just all supports this and that. I know a lot of people got rich from TikTok from the other end, you know, not the likes, no, but the other factor, you know. Yeah. So it's very strange. It's a very strange platform. You know, I love when people on TikTok talk trash about China, and then because it's a Chinese platform in the first place, you know. No. Very luckily, I didn't get hardly ever get anyone try to say some talk shit about me on TikTok over Tourette's. Yeah. I have a few times already on Twitter. Well, because you know my Twitter account, it's also under the same name, Fabulous Tourette. And when I first started Twitter, it's because of Donald Trump. And so I was out there. I'm a Democrat. I'm always going against him. So I was out there in the whole war zone for like 4 or 5 years before I decided to clean things up. I said, you know what? Let me do a Tourette also. But then I also indicated I want to mix in politics. So there have been like when I started supporting certain candidates, even in New York local election, there have been people actually trying to make my Tourette an issue. I think this one person said like I shouldn't be doing politics because I'm sporadic, I'm random.
Really?
Because I have Tourette, right? So I as always I turn negativity into my own profit, right? I advertise on this guy. So I technically doxed him, right? I took a screenshot. I got on TikTok. I love the whole green room function.
Oh,
and I say,
nice.
This guy is talking trash. But you know what? Thanks to him, he inspired me for my next video, man.
There you go.
Tourette, you know. So, and I go back at them. Of course, they block me, but that's the whole point, you know. So.
Hey, are you really successful if you don't get blocked on Twitter? I mean, is that just? I mean, let's face it. You get blocked by some. I get like if I were to get blocked by someone on Twitter, I'd just be like, "Oh, I've made it. I've made it. This is it. This is the big stuff."
Yeah, it's better than you blocking them, you know. They're blocking you. Right? So I have to say, man, I've been successfully blocked by a few politicians, you know. So I didn't curse out, no vulgar, no threats. They think I had the perfect timing, so they blocked me, you know. So you didn't have the Seth Rogen experience. You didn't get called out for just like randomly having coprolalia all the time. Seth Rogen, actually, thanks to that experience, I don't like Ted Cruz, right?
Right.
So when I saw that, I'm like, damn, I got it. This is my moment. I got to come at it.
Oh, yeah.
Now I can finally. Because a lot of time when you tweet to politician, it doesn't matter if small, big, they don't give a shit about you, right? They don't respond. Right, so sometimes even the one you vote for, you tweet at them, they don't respond. I feel like, you know what, back in the days, old school, you write a letter, at least you get a response back from the secretary. Yeah. Now you get nothing back, right? So perfect chance. Now Seth Rogen, Ted Cruz, Tourette's getting attacked. So I did a video message with my ticking voice, right, my Tourette voice, and I blasted him. And I got like, it's my first time ever, like quarterly viral. I got like a bunch of stuff going on. I was so happy, but it's not there, but still it was great. And then after that, I wrote a op-ed and I published on a Asian American journal. And I basically just described the whole scenario on Twitter and why this issue bothers me, but why it also inspired me to do more, empower me continue my advocacy, So this whole long thing describing my life, how I was bullied, and up to the point where Ted Cruz is attacking the Seth Rogen,
Yeah. See, this is one of those things though that I just love about what you do, because you have a way of taking, negativity and turning it into positivity, turning it into optimism, and it's so inspiring because not everyone can do that. And I feel like one of the things that really gets promoted among Tourette groups or among the Tourette community is kind of in a sense of fear of people like bad mouthing us. I feel like, with like anytime there's a Tourette joke, it doesn't matter, what the joke is or if it's even clever. It's just, no, we've got to shut it down. We've got to make sure that doesn't get said. And it's like, then you've got, people like us that it's like, we take that and we go, well, wait a minute. How can we turn this around? How can we raise some positivity because of this moment? Not just, be terrified of it, but actually learn from it and grow from it. I think and I love that you do that.
Thank you. I try to be more consistent, but I'm an emotional person, So a lot of time when the good stuff happens, I'll go through a few up and down, and I'm thinking, man, I gotta beat him up, throw him in the river or something, But I'll come back to my senses fairly quickly. So thank you.
You just need to, what you need to do is you need to do what you had the Tourette rap on the Tourette rap anthem on your YouTube channel. That was, by the way, that wasn't just fabulously Tourette. That was epically Tourette.
Thank you very much.
You got to do a rap a rap anthem just for every single time someone comes at Tourette's. Just combat them with rap.
That's a good idea. Hey, I'll surprise you. I'll tag you next time.
All right. But I noticed there was something that you brought up in the rap. I kind of wanted to briefly talk about this because you mentioned and by the way, to anyone listening and who has not heard this, go to Fabulously Tourette on YouTube. Listen to the rap anthem. It's awesome. But you talk about medication in it. And I read an article that you were in where you talked about having experiences with ORAP. And ORAP, for those of you who don't know, it's a medication used to treat people with Tourette syndrome. And I'm wondering what your experience was like with that, because I tried one dose of it when I was diagnosed, and half my face went completely numb. And I was like, you know, it was like insisted that I stop immediately. So I'm wondering what your experience was.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for your tics. You know, I was thinking, you know, when I come to a Tourette show, I'm like, I can't come empty-handed. You know, what if this is a good day? I have no tics. But thankfully, to the process of recognition, you know, once you do that, I do that too. You know, this is one of the reasons why. Before I became so cool at showing my Tourette on video, there was a time where I advocated and talked about it. I refuse to go to any organization because I don't want to get triggered. So I did go through that. I did go through that time, but then eventually I accepted. You know, that's also when people ask me, "Do you need a cure?" I say, "Absolutely not. No, this is me." No.
Thank you. Yes, that's all right. That's right. Like real quick, that is a huge thing because it's actually been a huge discussion. Like in the past few years, is do we actually? I mean. Okay, now I want to preface this by saying some people really need a cure. Like there are some people that just suffer and struggle so hard with it that I get it. But then you've got people that like look, before we find a cure, I want us to be accepted. I want to walk around anywhere I go and tick freely and not have to be like, oh shoot, am I gonna get kicked out of where I am? You know, like I just started getting this new tick that makes me sound like a parrot, where I go, and it just happened. It happened recently because I was playing the game Final Fantasy X, and there's a character named Riku, and it literally started happening from that.
That is very attractive sound. I'm telling you, man. You know, it's already bouncing my head already. You know? I like later in this. I really want to get into a topic of how Tourette's is kind of contagious if you already have Tourette's. But yeah, ORAP. What was your experience with it? Yeah. By the way, my tongue is moving. I'm trying to stop that.
This is so fun. It's so fun to get people with Tourette's in the same room.
ORAP. Oh man, ORAP it's a serious issue. ORAP, you know.
Yeah.
There's a book, Twitch and Shout, famous book, right? Twitch and Shout. Yeah, it was a movie. So I think it's Lowell, right? So he you know, from reading his book, I realized, wow, you know, without him, I wouldn't have Tourette, because he went to the Congress and Tourette was basically getting canceled out from the pharmaceutical company because it's an antipsychotic to treat schizophrenia. Right. And that company, I forgot which company it was, but they had a new drug, so they were fading this out. In the meantime, they had no idea that Tourette community was using this, like the magic pill. So him and a bunch of people went to Congress and petition. So they basically designed a new bill that helped to incentivize pharmaceutical company for these fringe pharmaceutical equipment or drugs in this case. So that's how it got kept in the market. When I first got introduced to it, I was also introduced to it there's another Tourette, Daniel Ferron. He's pretty famous. Yeah. He has videos. Right? He saw Dr. Shapiro at the time it was called North Shore University Hospital. So I also went there in 1992. At the time there was also, I think, Dr. Olson. She's with the pediatric department. So at the time they had the expertise. Also, they're the one who revolutionized using other medicines to treat Tourette's, because there's no specific medicine. So we sort of always been carpooling with other medicines, right?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
So at the time, ORAP was not only revolutionary, it was also like one of the only things that's around. So after I was being diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, a co-occurring symptom, ADHD, OCD, I was also introduced to ORAP, aka Pimazide, right? There's two names to it. I was told about some side effects. I could be sleepy, slow down, things like that. My mom thought, great, I'm hyper, so it's a good thing, right?
Right.
But you know what? I didn't get numb, you know. I had the opposite. I think I got more hyper.
Interesting.
But I think I was able to. I fall asleep. I think I get more tired earlier. I got tired earlier than before. But then I didn't feel like numb. I didn't feel tardy or slow. But I had weird stuff. When I first started it was dramatic. At the time, I didn't really have coprolalia. At the time, did I have coprolalia? No. I think after medication. Oh no. I did. You know what? I did because when I came to America and I realized, you know, fuck is something I shouldn't say, right?
Yeah.
And then just like there's Chinese curses, but fuck. So when I heard it, I just like fuck. I just started like that, and then eventually to a point where I have to hide it. Because my mom was living with her boyfriend and he speaks very good English, so he picked up real quick. So I'm trying to figure out a way to hide it. So I used to play like Street Fighter. So instead of saying fuck, I used to say instead of saying fuck you in Chinese, it's called da jiu. Da jiu. Da means big. Jiu means uncle. So his name is he's like uncle to me. So I'm like da jiu, big uncle. Eventually he figured out that da jiu is fuck you, right? So yeah, I did have a coprolalia. I had seizure like tics. I had a whole bunch of things going on, like combo tics. So I would say maybe 3 days after this medication, it was dramatic. All the severe stuff went away. Like it's like I still have the rain, but no thunder, no lightning. Okay. Right. So my mom was very happy, and because now I'm a parent, you know. But at the time I didn't understand. So my mom, now I realize how guilty she felt, right? Because she felt like she had no control. She felt maybe this came from her, this and that. So, but she's very happy with the ORAP. But throughout, I took ORAP for a long time, man. You know, when I tell people about the medication I took, the duration, they're shocked. I took 8 years straight. Right? No. Yeah, I didn't go up and down. Right? I didn't know wax and waning. Maybe once in a while I dropped down to from 1 to half dose. But you know, it's a psychological addiction. It's a body addiction, which you don't know until you stop. But it's a psychological addiction. I feel like damn, I got to control it. Right. Even though throughout the 7 years it wasn't pleasant because it didn't stop all my tics. As a matter of fact, coprolalia got worse. I went from fuck you to fuck you bitch. Oh wow! And I was also doing this a lot. Oh, the copropraxia, yeah. Right. So even now I had to make a fist, right? So because it happened, right? So then I used to draw penises, some books. I mean, a lot of these things can be controlled. But then people ask why you do this all the time. You know, like even now I'm a 40-year-old man. I still like to make fart noises every day. I'm fucking mouth fart noises. I can't call these tics. But they just random things, you know. They just random things, and you don't do it. I do it. All I can say is that this is just something about Tourette, you know. But with this medicine, it gave me new tics. It gave me a lot more vocal tics, as a matter of fact. And then I think I got more tics that's concentrated in my neck region, my jaw region. So those things didn't go away. They're like new things came after the medicine. But then one of the worst thing about ORAP for me is intrusive thoughts. Because right around, I would say, I started that medication around 12, and I taking by around 16, 15, 16, no, it might be even earlier, I have to say, because 9th grade, you know, fairly short, 14, 15, like 2-3 years after taking this, I started to hear voices. right?
Really?
It goes like this. Like say I'm playing basketball. I always suck at dribbling, right? I have to have a phobia. I'm a fear of dribbling, right? Because I used to go to a dribbling competition. And then my ball kept on bouncing out. So, oh my God, I have a fear for dribbling, right? So say I'm playing basketball, the ball bounced out, people laugh at me. Oh, he can't dribble. He dribbled like a girl, right? And I immediately start to feel bad for myself, right? When that happened, it triggers the guy inside my head. Basically, you're conscious. And we all do this. We think about ourselves like, oh, you suck. You shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But imagine that amplified and then repeated for a long time.
Yeah.
So as year passed on, this got worse and worse. It went from one voice to two voice, and sometimes the voice sounds like my mom. But my mom's emotional person, and so she'll say real bad thing to me when she's emotional, and she'll apologize afterwards. So, but she's like the way I parent. I'm a nagger, I told myself never be a nagger.
Look, if you tell yourself not to be a nagger, you're gonna start nagging. That's just the way it is.
So she nagged me all the time. So I kept on hearing her voice in my head. So throughout school day, this can happen. Also, when it happens, it doesn't go away. I'm in class. I just hear the thing ring. So eventually, I tell my mom. She doesn't understand this. She obviously said I made it up. She said we all talk to ourselves, right? We all think out loud. This is nothing. Eventually, from that, she began to blame me, saying, "Oh, are you trying to make things up just to piss me off?"
Wow.
So I also went to see doctor, and I went through several pediatric neurologists. But they all kind of disqualified, They were all specialized in all other fields in the medicine, but they really don't have any idea what Tourette is,
right.
Or they just pretty much know whatever Tourette syndrome association says it. They'll say the same thing. So nothing special, right? So they tell me, okay, you should wax and wane on your medicine. They never gave me any, some kind of replacement. They didn't try to introduce me new medicine. They just kind of want to prolong this, only tell me to go up, go down. And they really don't understand how this voice go, Right. They don't understand. They also didn't introduce me to any psychiatrist. So my mom was also, she doesn't believe this. So she basically, I think she wanted the doctor to prove me wrong, right? So I was upset at her, So because of that, me and her, we fight all the time. So eventually, by the time I was 19, my mom and I, we got so bad. I moved out. I met a girl at the time. I moved in with her. I was going to school and going to work at the same time. And this thing still happens. So, it happens at work sometimes. Just anything. Anytime something happens that make me feel less confident, less of myself, when I become self-critical, it just starts. And once it starts, it won't stop. I just kept on thinking about it. Right. And the only thing I can do is go to sleep. So that's why I got fired from different jobs because I take day off or leave for sick days, this and that, sudden leaves. They can't accommodate people like me,
Well, I'm sorry, but I think this is one of those things, and I think it's so important to be talking about is this aspect of how other people react to it. The fact is no one knows a lot about this stuff. I mean, I remember when I was diagnosed, like one of the scariest moments in my life was when the neurologist said to me, he was like, "So yeah, we have ORAP for you." It's like, and he basically said, "I'm not really sure if this is the right thing for Tourette's because there isn't really a medication for Tourette's, but this is the one that's being used." And I'm in my head, I'm going, wait, you don't know, but you're prescribing it to me. And that was that moment where I realized and I remember he said he was just like, you may get symptoms similar to Parkinson's. And I'm like, that's not ideal. But at the same time, I just remembered having that thought of, wait, if the neurologist doesn't know much about Tourette syndrome, and he even said to me, I don't know much about Tourette's. how is everyone else going to react like with me having Tourette's? And that's the thing is then you get employers that they don't mean to, you know, be hurtful, but they don't know what's going on. And they just react the way anyone who doesn't know what's going on would react. And it sucks and no one thinks about it.
Yeah. Luckily for me is that, you know, the reason why I was fired from job for these incidences is it's not actually because of my Tourette. It's because what's happening inside my head, right? They can't see that, right? So it's because of my frequent lateness or, you know, frequent sick days or unexpected sick days. You know, middle of the work, I had to leave. Things like that. So it's you know, as policy wise, they can still terminate you. Without going deeper into it, you know. But very luckily, I've hardly ever had any issue with my Tourette tics at work. And also, I have also been very upfront at every single interview, and even first day of work, I talk about Tourette's. But that's another thing. But let me just finish this whole all wrap.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I was going to school, I was working, I was having all this crazy intrusive thoughts. Eventually, these voices just got really, really negative. And eventually, you said, you know what, you suck, you should kill yourself, right? So that repeats. Sometimes you just repeatedly tell, you know what, you're a loser, you kill yourself better. So I also tell my mom about it at the time too, and she still doesn't believe me because at the time I moved out already, and she thinks I'm still trying to piss her off.
Right.
My girlfriend at the time said maybe this is your medicine doing. You should stop this. I was afraid because, you know, on one hand I really want to stop because I know. I just know if I stop this, it's gonna go away. At the same time, I also know. What if all the other stuff come back? All my other tics come back when I was 12, 13, right? So, you know, one day I was driving and I was really depressed and I was crying. Another thing about this medication is that it gave me a lot of mood swing, a lot of manic episodes, right?
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, almost like, you know, sometimes people thought I have bipolar. Yeah? So you know, and my mood really go up and down. And that mood, also my mood's down, that voice comes, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was really depressed. One night I was driving and man, I really wanted to drive into the incoming traffic. I really wanted to kill myself, you know. So that's when I realized, you know, I got to do something. So I had a talk one day with my psychology professor from college. He turns out to be more of an expert in Tourette's than all the doctors I saw. So he immediately suggested that I think this is the doing of this antipsychotic medicine that's given to you, because he said this is not intended for Tourette's in the first place. It's experimental, right? So he said maybe you should also experiment on yourself and just stop this, you know. So I took his advice and I stopped it, and I still went to class the next day. No, nothing. I felt like the normal day, right? By the afternoon, and you know, this all shit went to hell, you know, because then I beginning to get the chills. I was cold sweat. I got home, and I think I smoked some weed, but it didn't help. Drink some beer, it doesn't help. I know my body needs that all that stuff, but
because you've taken it for so long.
Yeah, I did, man. And then I was just jittery. I was a mess, man. But then I just endured it, and then I think I passed out the next day in the morning, and I slept for like 15, 16 hours, you know. It was so dramatic. And I woke up, and I woke up feeling the same. I don't know what, but then I told myself, let me try to summon this voice, because I kind of learned how to summon it. So that, it doesn't come. So I thought, damn, this is a joke, you know. Maybe it's tomorrow. So I kind of played with this for weeks and months, and it was gone. Right, it was gone. And it also one way was that a lot of my extra stuff. So kind of concentrated onto my voice. So what's remained after I stopped all rap? It's just basically, hey, what you're hearing now. Yeah. My vocal tics, upper body, jaw, shoulder, this and that, but everything else is gone, and especially what's in the head, it's also gone. But I still have intrusive thoughts. It come all the time, come at the weirdest places. As I doubt, yes, intrusive sex can interfere sex, 100%. Yeah. But I have learned to control it. When some crazy images come in, sometimes it's also, because I'm having sex, I have some pornographic images coming. Right. And I tell myself, it's okay. I'm not cheating. Okay. Maybe I should just do my thing and watch it at the same time.
Just a little help.
Just a little help.
Oh man. But yeah, this is a thought. There's a thing about Tourettic people though, I've noticed with myself, and I find it fascinating. And I'm curious about this because it seems like we get really strange side effects to medication. Like it's not like, I remember like a few years ago, I tried an antidepressant here in Iceland, and they gave it to me and they were like, so do you want a list of the side effects? And I just went, no, I'm going to get ones that aren't on the list anyway. So I'm just going to figure out what happens,
One more thing. Car sick, motion sickness. Yeah. I used to get car sick, boat sick, air sick, but after I stopped medication, all that went away.
Wait, really? Because yeah. I mean, to be fair, I mean, car sickness, motion sickness is very common with people with Tourettic people because of all the motions that we do anyway, and but that all went away.
All that went away. Yep.
Wow. You lucky bastard.
And I also used to get these very strange headaches, very, very strange headaches. So it also went away along with the medication.
Wait, so what you're saying is that I messed up. I should have taken ORAP for years and then stopped taking it, and all of this would have gone away. That's the experiment. That's the experiment with ORAP, is you have to experiment with the experiment.
Exactly. Unfortunately, man, I think even right now, we're still at a guinea pig stage. One of my friend online I met through my Tourette advocacy. It's a Chinese mom. I keep it real short. She actually came here with her kid. People think people are still fleeing from China, right? But no, she like a lot of people do very well. She has a very comfortable life. Like here, she feel like she's a slave, to the house, to the tax. But at home, back in China, she felt great. But the only thing she didn't feel great about is that in China, they didn't pay too much attention to Tourette syndrome or to a lot of the mental health things. But it has to do with, how ancient China is, and also how popular it is. How many people? It's a very competitive world. That's why things like socialism works better in that kind of place, because you don't have enough resource to feed everybody. So then you get equal treatment for everybody. But we have Tourette's or some type of mental health disorder, they will not give you the same type of concentration like how it is over here in the West or in America. They don't have awareness campaign. They don't want to see over here. We can still, I know. Depend. There are people. That's why we're doing this. Some people out there still feel alone. They're not being supported. But that's why I want to say there are places, there are other places, other nations where, that's all they can do for you is equal treatment. But at least here, you can feel special. You can feel like, this is more than just something pull you down, but this is a talent almost, right? It's a special skill. So that's why she brought her son here to feel empowered, to feel special, because over there they might just gonna drag you down. Even though you're not equal, you have something that's going on, but you're not gonna get the special attention. That's why she's here. But what I'm trying to say is that her son tried the experimental TMJ device, right?
Yeah.
Right. I like that concept because I go see acupuncture, reflexologist, and I do acupuncture, and I know the pressure points are associated with TMJ. Also in Chinese, they call it 三叉神经. It's like here, and also here. When I have needles on there, I don't tick. They even stop thoughts. Very interesting. Even OCD, intrusive thoughts, all stop. And then it's also like a Pavlov dog type of thing, you know, because there's a negative reinforcement. And when you move your body, you get the shock, right? Because from the needle, so you know not to do it. But then once you take all the needle out, and then everything pretty much all come back, right? So this TMJ device, from what I heard, also once you come off it, you know, everything kind of come back. So this kid had this thing on. He was biting on this thing for about like 3 years. So now he finally took it off because his teeth had deformed. So apparently it was meant to make your jaw close properly. So now your jaw closed properly, but your teeth cannot close properly. So there's no such thing as free lunch, you know. And you know, for us, a lot of time it's still an experiment. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I want there. All right, there's a topic I want to talk about because I mean, this is not just a topic that we haven't discussed really on the show, but it's also just I don't feel like it's really discussed. And
sure,
you made me think about this when you were talking about China because like when we were talking earlier about TikTok, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've seen like videos from Tourettic people who are black, for example, and there are comments like, "Wait, black people can have Tourette's?" And I've noticed that with like, you know, Asians that have Tourette's as well. It seems like if you look at media, I mean, they only ever show white men, and even women like get misdiagnosed or late diagnosis because many neurologists don't believe that women can have it. And it seems odd. It seems oddly like specifically to, and it seems like Tourette's isn't really the only thing with this. But I mean, do you know what is the rough percentage of Asians with Tourette's?
I just want to say you're so right about this. You know, just today I was on Facebook. You know, I shared a Tourette post and I used the donation to for Tourette Association. Mm-hmm. So one of the image popped up. And it was a family, as a white family. All three of them wearing Tourette shirts, you know. And there you go. That's everywhere you turn, you know, it's always a white person depicted with Tourette syndrome. You know, that is something. You know, they should really make Tourette more diverse. You know.
Yeah. Well, because it is diverse. I mean, it is, and it's such a strange concept to me that people would be surprised by that because it's like Tourette's is just gonna go, okay, so America, we're gonna attack there, we're gonna attack nice and strong, but we're only gonna go to one group. Like that makes no sense.
Tourette syndrome is not racist, you know.
Yeah. Not at all.
No, man. But I don't have a clear percentage as to what China has. I research on Taiwan.
Okay.
They have more. You can find a lot more information on people with Tourette's in Taiwan. But for China, I don't find a lot actually. So I don't particularly know the percentage. But let me just tell you this: when it's because I know, not just in China, but also even in the U.S., but also just among not all Asian, you know, but you know, I'm Chinese, you know, I feel like East Asians cultures that have been influenced by Confucianism, by the way paternal patriarchal hierarchy is played. So there are mannerism you must follow. Because of that, you know, there's this oppressive attitude toward people who have mental health disorders and seen as a weakness. So that's why among Asian community, this is not often talked about. My mom have symptoms. She has, you know, her OCD is so bad that she doesn't realize that she actually she do strange things in her life. I often tell her, "Why you do this? You can't just do that." You know, she said, "I have to." But she doesn't. Then I tell her, "You know, you have obsessive compulsive disorder." She said, "No, I don't." My mom would go out of her way to do something. You know, for us it's normal. Like you take one step. Yeah. So I know because I have Tourette's and OCD. I know she's doing this to bypass something. But then she don't want to. But she never got this diagnosed because to my mom, she's old school Chinese. she thinks by having sheer willpower can conquer anything. And so that's one of the reasons why it's really not often talked about it. So I actually wanted to find out more about it. So I decided to reach out to Chinese newspapers, was World Journal and China Press. They print my story in two different type of Chinese characters. You have the traditional characters for people in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and people in North America to read. You have the simplified characters on the China Press. And so actually people in China read it. So I had one family, one mother reach out to me on WeChat. And I was really surprised. She said she's from my city, Nanjing. That's where I was born. And she said she saw me, my story on China Press. I'm like, wow, I'm so surprised. Wow. Right. And then, she told me that there's really hardly any specific, medical field that's really targeting on Tourette's. So there's no awareness group like over here. So that's why she was very appreciative of finding my story. Also, she knows that people who have it don't want to talk about it, or people who have it who are kids, their parents, they feel so ashamed they don't want to talk about it. So she was very happy that someone Chinese is there with the story and willing to share.
Well, and I was thinking this new tick that I've got. Yep. Okay. That one. My Tourette's was like this one. But no,
that's cute. You know?
It's it is absolutely adorable. But the thing is, it just started happening like a week and a half ago. And like, I've noticed that, I'm open about Tourette's. I'm an open book. People can ask me whatever they want. And I'm so happy to talk about it. But I do also relate to not wanting to talk about it, because there are days where people don't realize it is still tough, even for those of us that are open, you know, and I think that's why I understand why it's so tough for a lot of people to be open and talk about it freely, because I get a new tick, and depending on what the tick is, I basically have, I'm at this point where it's like, if I'm comfortable around my girlfriend doing this tick, then I'm comfortable in public. But when you sound like a parrot, every once in a while, you just have to talk about it. You don't really have a choice, you know?
I know, man. I mean, here in New York City on the subway, when you have ticks for a long time, like me, like 29 years, I started 8-year-old, just like a rap video I talk about, from the stick off the tongue like a snake, right? At 8, on the episode I did with Tourette podcast, the episode name was talking about, sticking out the tongue like a snake. So that was 8. So until now, I have subconsciously know how to suppress, or how to stop certain things, So I think recently I saw an interview with Tourette cop, right? Yeah. And he also talked about it. When he's on a job, when he's focused, and he just know when to stop, right? When he's at home, he just come all out, right? I don't want people to feel that I'm suppressing myself because I'm suppressing myself so the public can accept me better. It's just that, but it has something to do with that. It has to, we've been trained, man. We've been modified, So until now, so I guess it's automatic, but it didn't come easily, It didn't come easily. But when I'm on the train, it doesn't happen too often. But when it does happen, I kind of hope people will look at me, because I would love to strike a conversation and talk about it. I love when people see me like they saw a ghost, right? And then sometimes I push out another one just on purpose. I just want to see what happens. But then in New York, you don't want to keep eye contact. She saw me already, saw her, want to do it again. They just, you can tell, right? You can tell they're focusing in the front. They don't want to look, because they know, I saw you looking, kind of look at me again, lady, But now I wonder, because I've been working home for the last whole year because of COVID.
Right.
And now there are in New York City, there are so much anti-Haitian attacks, crimes happening every day. Every day you see stuff reported or unreported. It's really crazy out there. So, I used to feel really comfortable, with my Tourette's. now I actually think about, what if I go back to the work field? Now I have an Asian face. I'm on the subway. Can I still be as comfortable as before with my tics? Right now, there's all the social unrest happening, you know. So this make me think about it. You know, I haven't have to think about this aspect for a long time. I've been really comfortable with it, but now because of the extra negative attention out there, you know, really have to make me think. You know. Yeah.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. I mean, I still feel weird in public, but I relate with like, you know, like we've been conditioned because it's like subconscious suppression and that you don't even think about. I mean, like to me, I often describe suppression sometimes as being its own tick, like because it just happens like, oh, like I'll be in public and automatically try to suppress my tics. Yeah, and like at one point I was like, well, I mean, to be fair, I have long hair and a beard and tics that make it all like like, you know, uneasy and messy. So it's like I'll walk around looking like the guy that's offering drugs to everyone, and then I'm ticking, and they're like, "Yep, that's the guy with the drugs." You know, and so it's like my it's like my Tourette's automatically goes, "No, we're in public. We need to calm down." But then it's like as soon as I get out of public, then it just explodes, and it's because it's like because the common one is it's like holding back a sneeze. Or trying to keep your eyes open as long as you can without blinking, and it's true.
Or this itch, you know,
right? Like as soon as you stop trying to do that, then it's just like, oh crap! Now I have to do it constantly. You know,
you're so right about it. And then also this whole drug reference is very true. You know, I've been asked. I'm at the gym doing curls. Had this kid come up to me, "Hey, do you smoke crack?" And I immediately know this Tourette reference. And at the time, I have already been trained. I said, yeah, I do, right? Don't smoke it or you're going to be like me. And the kid turns all white and walks away, right? One time I was at a club, nightclub, and then it was nighttime. I was tired already, you know? So I was going off like crazy. And I had this guy come, oh, dude, man, you're rolling hard, man. What kind of exercise are you taking? I'm like, it's called Tourette. He's like, what? Tourette syndrome. So this whole drug reference has been happening. I'm very much used to it, but I can't imagine what's it like for someone. I mean, for someone, you know, fresh off the block with Tourette's. You know, I mean, I had Tourette when my onset was early when I was a kid. I really can't imagine if I had an onset, you know, as an adult. You know, and how to handle that, because you know, back then, you know, just like you know, on TikTok you talk about, people say, oh, well, I can't believe the black guy have Tourette's. You know, right. I had this surprise once when I realized, wow, adults can also have onsets. When I first learned that, it blew me away. I thought it has always been the mythical onset before 18 and it kind of goes away. Right. I had no idea there was this other spectrum going on, man.
Well, and that's, you know, I'm actually glad that you used the word spectrum, because I'm noticing, like, as soon as like autism became known as the autism spectrum, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Tourette's is also being described as a spectrum now, because everyone experiences it differently, and I love it. I think it's great. I think it's because it really. I mean, because it really describes it perfectly, because you've got Tourette syndrome, then you've got tic disorders, and people go, well, wait, isn't that the same thing? And it's like, well, not exactly, but, you know, technically Tourette syndrome is a tic disorder, but not all tic it's like when you talk about whiskey versus bourbon. Like all bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons.
That's correct.
And it's that thing of, I'm so glad that this word is being used now, because it also, like, those of us that have this, it makes us realize that, oh, so, you know, we're not all lumped into the same category, and now we're finally able to explain why, you know.
That's correct.
And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, that bourbon analogy is perfect. I'm a bourbon guy.
Are you? Yeah. I'm a whiskey guy, but, you know, with COVID, it's too expensive. Well, we are actually unfortunately getting close to the end here. I feel like I could just talk to you for hours. This is incredible. I realized though I meant to start this episode with this. So I guess just real quickly, it is Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. We went this whole episode. We didn't mention it like once. So first of all, happy Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month.
Absolutely, yes.
Before we go, are you doing anything to like in celebration of the Awareness Month?
Well, in recent years, I've only attended one walk, the Tourette 5K walk. But unfortunately, due to COVID, this 2 years just hasn't been going on. But as far as May 15 to June 15 Tourette awareness, I guess it's all because of COVID. It really kept me from going out there. But as you know, I'm on social media. I'm pushing out tons of awareness videos.
Oh, you're literally pushing. You're doing push-ups. I mean,
I like the way Ben Brown from Tourette podcast, he put it. He said my videos is not always straight educational thing. It's Tourette blended in with everyday lifestyle. So that's
absolutely.
That's I want to try to make Tourette more casual,
Yeah, and I love that. I just because I wanted to make sure that I talked about this just real briefly, because you do these push-up videos. Did that start with COVID, or were you doing that before? Because you do, for the listeners, he does just so that they know. You do like it's like 25 push-ups for Tourette syndrome. And you did for a while, you were doing different ones. And that actually inspired me to try doing different push-ups as well. I just didn't video them because I look really sad when I do push-ups, because I just start going, I am not ready for this. I am not ready for this.
COVID has take a significant part to it. I mean, I've always enjoyed push-ups. Back then in my 20s, I work. Whenever people go outside for cigarette break, I go outside for push-up break.
Oh,
so people
wow.
know. Yeah, a whole bunch of people over there smoking cigarettes. I'm over here doing my push-ups.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but I never really had a pattern because I like to eat, I like to drink. But for the 25 push-up for Tourette's, it really started from COVID, because when I first started, even in my video, I talk about not only does push-up being active help with suppressing my tics, it also help with my mentalness, right? Because I was going through, because of OCD, I kept on thinking about COVID symptoms, So it got me into almost like panic. I'm walking on the fringe of panic attack all the time, high anxiety. So that's why I want to release that energy. So that's how I came about with this whole video thing. I said, you know what? I see people out there running for cause. I said, what? I need to start shaping up again. And one of the best exercises I like to do is push up. So that's why I do push up and different variation. Now pull up, but always hashtag 25 push-ups for Tourette.
Right. I mean, and hey, for people that are trying not to move, it's good to start moving again.
Absolutely.
But anyway, first of all, Peter, thank you so much for joining me. This has been an absolute blast having you on here.
Thank you very much.
If you're ever up for, I would love to have you back on. I was just looking through my notes. I think I got through like 3 questions that I had planned, and this conversation just took off, and it's been fabulous is the best word to describe it. See, we're cycling back to the beginning, Before we go, where can people find out more about you and the work that you do?
Well, it's pretty much the same. Fabulously Tourette. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and also Facebook with the exact same name. And I'd love to do another episode with you, man. This is being an absolutely blast.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that makes me so happy, because I had things on here and I'm like, I got to talk about this, and then we talked about other things, and I was just like, okay, this stuff can wait. But to the listeners, if you want to find out more information about me, you just search Dan Zarin Comedy on all social media platforms. And actually, real quick, because this is going to push me to actually get closer to doing this, stay tuned to my social media, because I'm hoping to release a music album soon. I'm not sure what month yet. I'm aiming for by the end of this year, but I will have information coming soon.
Looking forward to it.
Now for the part that no one's been waiting for, the outro. So if you want to find out more information about My Voices Have Tourettes, check us out at My Voices Have Tourettes at Facebook, Instagram, and we have Twitter at MVHT Show. We also, I don't know why I do this voice. I've been doing this for the past like 4 episodes, and like my friends that like when they've co-hosted, they're just like, Dan, why do you sound like that? Just talk normal. And I'm like, I can't. It's so fun to do. So it reminds me of like those old game shows where like, you know, it's just like, Johnny, tell them what they've won. You know? like, well, I'll tell you what you've won. You've won a free trip to Twitter. Find MVHT Show on Twitter and you'll get all the information you need. You can also find us if you're listening to this on Spotify or any of that stuff. Be sure to like and subscribe. Also, while you're on YouTube checking us out, be sure to check out Fabulously Tourette. Give them a like, a follow, comment, anything you want, but no thumbs down because that's just rude. But give all the thumbs up that you can. Also, if you want to support the podcast, we do have I switched right back into my normal one. I'm going to start to, I'm going to go back to, I used to do this as John Lovitz. So let's just do this as John Lovitz. We did, if you go to Facebook, you can check out MVHT Podcast Discussion Group. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/MVHT Show. We also have, what other voices are there? I don't know.
That's really good. I gotta say, John Lovitz. That's really good.
Oh, thank you. I started doing it and then I was just like, that's John Lovitz. I'm going to work on that one. But anyway, this podcast is, what else do we have? This podcast has been brought to you by Gamesless Studio, The Secret Cellar, the Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smarty's Volcano Sauce, the greatest hot sauces I've ever had in my life. I think that just about does it. But you always have to get the sponsors in, because if you don't do the sponsors, like, it doesn't matter what else you did. The sponsors will call you up and they'll be like, Dan, listen, you didn't mention us enough, and we're gonna stop, supporting your podcast. And I'm like, well, you're barely supporting us as it is. I mean, I don't get enough. Like, look, you're a comedy club. I don't get enough comedy. What's going on here? But thank you all so much for listening, and check out new episodes every Tuesday.